Are you a better than average driver? Chances are you answered yes. That's because nearly 3/4 of people believe they are better than average drivers. Besides being mathematically impossible, this statistic is an example of overconfidence, and it's just one illustration of how certain biases can influence our thought patterns. In this video, we'll take a look at 3 of the most common behavioral biases that can impair our investment decisions. Behavioral biases can sometimes cloud our judgment and lead us to make irrational decisions. That's especially true when it comes to investing. At a time when markets are down and it's impossible to predict what tomorrow will look like, our perceptual distortions can make a difficult situation worse. The first bias we will cover is anchoring. You've fallen victim to anchoring when your emotional attachment to the past value of an investment keeps you from recognizing its present value. For example, let's say one of your holdings was recently selling for $100 per share, but has since dropped to $70. But you may be anchored to that $100 figure, convinced that's the right value for that position. As a result, you may insist on holding your position, convinced it will soon rebound. However, there's no guarantee that it'll do so or over what time frame. Second, let's talk about recency bias. Recency bias can lead to putting too much emphasis on the latest information, often ignoring other important data. For example, say markets begin to rally and that inspires a surge in buying. As more investors pile on, prices climb even higher, surpassing historically expensive levels. Yet investors may ignore this red flag, assuming recent trends outweigh long-term data. However, markets can also correct, sometimes suddenly, and overreacting to falling prices can often leave investors with heavy losses. You can avoid recency bias by taking a long-term approach to investing. Strategies such as periodic rebalancing or dollar cost averaging, where you make a series of regular investments regardless of market's ups and downs, can help erase the temptation to chase returns or panic when prices do fall. The final bias we will look at is overconfidence. Confidence is useful and in many cases necessary. Investing a large portion of your net worth in the financial markets takes confidence, and it's confidence that allows you to keep risks in perspective and sit tight in a turbulent market rather than rushing to sell your assets and locking in losses. But overconfidence can be dangerous. It can lead you to believe that you know better than experts and that you can perfectly predict market movements successfully. Spoiler alert, no one can. Or that you can spot investment opportunities others have missed. Worst of all, it can lead to emotional decisions in response to market movements. Recognizing how behavioral biases influence investing can help you keep them in check. As a result, you may be more likely to make investment decisions that align with your long-term financial plan, and avoid irrational ones that may knock you off track. If you are seeing ways that bias may have impacted your financial results, please don't hesitate to reach out to a member of our team to schedule a virtual meeting. We would love to discuss and explore how we may be able to help.